Real JP Multimedia, proud sponsor of the Nerdball podcast. Here to help you with all things audio, video, graphics, photo, web design. From weddings to real estate, commercial business to private use, we offer a big variety of services for almost any budget. And if we can't do it, we will find someone who can. Find us at realjp.com. That's REELJP.com. Real JP Multimedia.
Hi, I'm Chelsea, and you are listening to / watching the Nerdball podcast.
This is the Nerdball podcast with Lorenzo Melcher.
Awesome. Thanks, Chelsea. That's the first time anybody has done that.
Yeah.
You're just lucky that you are able to watch this one. What if you said it and I'm like, well, actually, I don't do video anymore. So
yeah, I'd be like, well, roll it back one more time.
So I feel like it's been a while. We had a good run there of dating stories and stuff. So I feel like I normally don't ask you the question I ask everybody else. Maybe I do. I don't remember. But what is something you nerd out about?
I am still 100% nerding out about my fantasy books, my fantasy romance books.
How many do you think you've read?
Oh, I've read 67 books this year. I have my reads. I've read 76 books or 67 books. So
67?
I will say a good chunk of them are audiobooks because I'm in the car a lot and I have hit psychopath level and I listen at 2.0 speed. So I crank through books like crazy.
Yeah, see, I also listen to them quicker, but mine's 1.7 a podcast. So yeah, I do that too. But wow, 2.0 too fast for me. But that's like 10 books a month. That's crazy.
Yeah, and zero educational purposes. This is straight up smut.
Smut, yeah.
It is. I mean, educational depending on which way you look at it, but I'm not going to be winning any Nobel Peace Prizes anytime soon.
What do you get out of these books? It's pure entertainment.
I don't have to be in the real world. I get to look at other people living everyone's dream, who doesn't want a billionaire boyfriend that takes away all of your problems? Come on.
Are there some, like, would you be embarrassed, like, if you met a new friend, like a new girlfriend, and she's in your car, would you be embarrassed by these things that they say in these books?
Absolutely not. I made my brother get in my car with me and listen to a book because he's like, hey, can you take me home? I said, sure, but you are listening to my book with me. And it was a particular spicy scene. And he was like mortified. And I just laughed the whole time. I was like, and he goes, I don't know what's worse, the fact that they're talking so fast because you listen to it so fast, or like the words that they are using to describe what is happening.
Yeah, because I feel like there's only so many words you can use to describe the penis.
Yes. Well, and I also and all of my close girlfriends, we're all into it. Like we're all in book club together. So all of us are completely unfazed by it. And at this point, we try and send each other the most insane, obscure stuff. Like there is a book called Get Out of My Swamp, which is a Shrek themes. I have not read this yet, but when I do, I will report back.
Get Out of My Swamp.
Yeah.
That's like what they call fan fiction. They call that, right?
Oh yeah. Some crazy fanfic.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's what I nerd out about.
That's why these aren't they can't be long books, right? These things aren't super long.
I mean, there's this one series that I've read and both books were almost 1,000 pages.
Wow.
A lot of world building, not as much smut, but great story, great plot. And just found out that this author has done 3 series, and at first everybody thought they were spoiler alert for anyone who's reading anything by Sarah J. Maas. She there were 3, and then we just found out like they're all interconnected now, like from the last book she just released. So everybody lost their minds.
And all the girls' vaginas just exploded. That's how crazy it was.
Essentially, yes, because now we're like, holy crap, all of these series are now connected. Yeah, so that's fun. There's a new book that came out called Fourth Wing, which is a dragon, like it's I think Hogwarts, but with dragons, and it's just much better.
So you have no boundaries to these.
No, I also have you ever heard of Ice Planet Barbarians?
No.
So it is alien smut. They are blue, and it is like human women getting abducted, and then the spaceship lands on this planet, and these blue aliens find them, and they just want to take care of them.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, sign me up. Like,
are you just the loneliest person?
Probably, but to be fair, all of my friends, who half of them are married, also read this stuff. So
is that good or bad for the marriage?
Good, because you read the book and then you're like, hey, where's my husband?
Where's your blue throbbing member? Let's go, man. Come on.
Yes, so my one friend is very into, as the term is, monster smut.
Wait. They can't gloss over that. You got to explain what monster smut
is basically. So like
Frankenstein and vampire,
or like minotaurs. There was a Mothman we read about. There's werewolves. Like Blue Planet Barbarians is just, it's like 27 books of like just the different blue aliens. But because this is America and people are very creative, you Google search Etsy, some creators have created appendages that you can purchase and use for yourself.
Of course.
The description, which is horrifying and hilarious.
Wait. What would you search on Etsy?
So blue Ice Planet Barbarian dildo.
Ice Planet. Well, Ice Planet Barbarians. Well, I guess I got to put that last part in there, don't I? Otherwise, let's see here.
There was one creator who made it, and the thing that sets them apart is they had a fun little horn right above it.
Yep. Ice. Yes.
Yep. See.
There's a small and a medium.
Yes. Yes. The reviews, I think, are my favorite part of that.
Definitely come in all kinds of different colors.
Yes.
Wow. So you can $106 for this thing.
Yes.
3,400 reviews. Nothing lower than a 4-star. Oh my gosh.
See, I don't like it's a thing. People like it.
Oh my gosh. Product is exactly as expected and perfect quality. Definitely read the measurements and then impulse buy it like I did. Definitely read the measurements and impulse buy. Oh my God.
Yeah. Fun times had by all.
So this person was a 5-star, was disappointed in the color, like disappointed, and also it was so much bigger than I thought it would be. Not sure if it would fit. But they'll give it 5 stars.
Yeah. Hey.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. This is a world I do not live in. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's really fun. Actually, like some of my girlfriends and I were doing a romance readers retreat, and we're going to like a cabin for a weekend, and we're doing like unhinged PowerPoints about like, I don't know if you've seen that trend around. So we're gonna like all have fun and do something crazy about that. And then we're all gonna read like our favorite like spicy chapter out loud to each other. So it's just gonna be a fun debauchery week.
Oh my God. How many people are going?
There's, I think, 8 of us, 7 or 8 of us.
I'm very interested in this part of it now because I just wrapped up planning for a guy's vacation. That this is the second time we're doing it. Who was in charge of was it you in charge of the planning or no? Somebody else?
No. Well, it was like one of those things where it was like an idea, and then we're all kind of equally like spearheading things. So it was like one person's like my friend Abby, she took control and like found the place. My other friend was like, okay, how about this weekend? It worked for everybody. And then I'm having the merch made because we're having matching sweatshirts for the weekend. So I'm doing that. And then as we get closer, we'll plan out like meals and stuff. But we're renting like the cutest little coziest cabin with like a hot tub down on Hocking Hills.
Okay.
So yeah, and then we're gonna make drinks based off of our favorite character. So it's just gonna be a girls weekend.
God, that is just like the TikTok I saw where it's like, hey, this is how guys plan a vacation, and this is what girls do on their vacation. And the girls was like, all right, we're here, we're about to eat dinner, but here's the weekend. At 8 a.m. we're doing this, at blah blah blah, we're doing this. At this, here's remember, don't forget your shirts when we go out to this restaurant, like all this stuff. And then it showed the guy. And the guy's like waking somebody up, like, hey, come on, we got our tea time right now. And he's all like wearing the stuff he wore the day before and just headed out.
Yeah.
Like, man, planning meals. Yeah.
Oh, it's so we do that. You know, we're having the 2 cars so everybody can get down there. We've taken the time off of work. So all of us are very like type A with this stuff. So it's very like the ball has not been dropped at all because we're all like, okay, got it, do it. So it's all planned and we're ready.
Well, I learned too from the first one is give less choices. And that like I like when you're like, yeah, someone said, hey, how about this date? And usually people, and what I learned is like, yep, that's good. Like people just want choices made for them.
Yeah, they just want it done. Just tell them.
Yep. And that's what I learned. And that's what I think I'll do going forward. Although I did do it differently this year. I did have like, all right, we're having a three panel committee where we split the United States up into 3 sections. 2 years ago, we went to the central. This next year, we're going to the west. So then in 2026, we'll go out to the East Coast. So we split it up. But I have people like, hey, send me places that you want to go. And then like nobody sends me anything, which is fine because we end up finding a place and we're like, all right, well, here's where we're going. Here's how much it's going to cost. Here's the weekend. And then
you want to come. Yeah.
And the worst is getting people that don't want to say no. Like, all right, man, it's fine to say no. Like, it's okay. Like,
just make a decision.
Just let me know. Yeah. And that I got that pretty early this year. Like I said, it's not till next June, and the list is already set and we're good to go. But it was the first time doing it was a learning process and frustration.
Oh yeah.
But
where are you guys going next year?
So we're going to San Diego.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got my friend George lives out there, and his wife's friend like manages Airbnb, so she helped us get a nice Airbnb and a good deal on it. So we'll be out there. We get there on a Thursday and leave on a Sunday, but it's like on a peninsula. It's like in between a bay and an ocean, so it's pretty sweet.
Nice. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'll send you ideas to have sweatshirts made, t-shirts, or sunglasses. So any fun little tchotchke things you want to remember. Boys Weekend 2K 25 or 24. I'm your girl. I'll help you.
We each can have our own themed drink.
Yes. See, there you go.
No, I think the closest we'll get is which flavor high noon do you like?
Exactly. There you go.
Oh man. So last time you were on here, I felt like you were dating somebody. And I don't know if you remember that.
I was. And then January happened and we
and as a New Year's resolution, you're like, we're done.
Yeah. So we are done. And that was very crazy, weird, hard, painful when someone's been in your life for 10 years and then all of a sudden they are not.
Yeah, because this was like a friend, right?
He started off as a friend and then we had worked together. We became close and then we started dating, and it was just kind of like we were stuck on each other's hips. And then, we were on and off again for a lot. And then the last year we had really tried to make things work again, and then just proved to not be the case. So basically have been single since January 2nd of this year.
Okay.
And it's been very interesting.
So I do want to talk about the breakup part of it. Because I think we talk about, and you're pretty open, obviously. Yeah. You're pretty open. So how, like, is it this time, like just like you guys aren't even friends anymore, or like where, or is it?
We are not on it. I ended up having to block him on my phone.
Okay.
For some things. And I'm hoping like that one day we can get back to being cordial with each other. Cause I do have a special place in my heart for him, but it's just, it was like, just wrong time, and just wasn't wrong person, wrong time. And, I'll always hold a special place for him, but at this time, we are not communicating at all, which is a bummer, but sometimes you gotta make those hard decisions for yourself.
Was he just being like too much after the breakup?
Not nice.
Oh, okay.
Some nice
Okay.
things were said, and I said, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I can't listen to that. That's not helpful to anybody. So I said, for now, I'm just gonna take a step back, and that's been nice. But like I said, we still have the potential to work together. So I plan to obviously be cordial if I ever see him. I don't have any ill will at all, but I just know that not in the cards for us right now.
Okay. All right. You're being very vague on stuff, and I'll let it be. So so the only thing you told me about a story you had is you just say I got a great story to share. So you didn't tell me any like anything about it. So
this is, you want to talk about doing 180. So, my heart's broken and my girlfriends come over for dinner in January and they're like, let's get you back out there. Come on. I was like, absolutely not. I was like, I am nowhere near like mentally, physically, emotionally ready to jump into anything. Like I am, trying to heal from this disaster. So my one friend goes,
why, sorry, but why do you think that your friends want to be like, hey, let's just get you back out there? Like what?
Oh, because none of my friends were his biggest fan. They were like, good for you. You're done. Let's go. Let's get you with someone that we think would be a good fit for you.
So in their mind, you guys were probably broken up a long time ago because they didn't really mesh.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. I was like, well, pump the brakes a second. Like, homegirl, I'm still healing.
Yeah.
So give me a minute. So my one girlfriend, she's like, hey, how long do you think like you'll need? I said, like, give me 3 solid months. And I was like, okay. And she's like, okay, got it. And she like did something on her phone, whatever. I think nothing of it. We're all out to dinner, and all of a sudden she's like, oh my God. And I was like, what? And she holds up her phone. And in her calendar, it says Chelsea is ready. And
oh
like,
my.
She was, oh my God, it's been 3 months. It's been 3 months. Let's go. So this was like, I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe you. So I was like, okay. So I have 2 girlfriends that work together and they're like, hey, we have someone that we work with that we think would be a great fit for you. And I was like, okay, like, tell me more. And they're like, yeah, they're like, we don't really know him. So, we're going to like slowly kind of get to know him. And then like, we're going to take it slow. So my friends came up with the term crockpotting, low and slow.
Wait, so they think this person would be good for you, but they don't even know anything about him?
Correct. You know what his qualifications were? He was tall and he has the job with them. I was like, okay. And the one really handsome, he's got a beard. I was like, okay, whatever.
And where is this job? Because I that's my first thought.
They work at the library. And he was like the maintenance guy for the library.
Okay. All right.
So I was like, okay. So my friends have never, like, she just pointed him out. Turns out she plays volleyball with his cousin. And so she's like, oh, how do you know so-and-so? And she's like, oh, I work with him. And he's like, oh, that's my cousin. So then she's like, well, wait, is he single? And she's like, he's got this on again, off again girlfriend, but I'm pretty sure they're off and like nobody likes her and they're like done. So then my friend's like, we'll pump the brakes a little. We'll keep crock-potting it, see what happens. So yeah.
So insane.
So my friends have never met him. And then all of a sudden they start running into him all the time at work. And so they're like, this is crazy. So then they start talking. And then he finally was like, hey, you met my cousin. Like, what was up with that? And then she's like, I don't know. Gotta go. Bye. Like, got scared and ran away. She's like, I didn't know what to do.
They're not even trying to date him and they're being all weird about it.
I'm like, come on. I'm like, get it together. Like, one of you was married and the other you was practically married. Like, let's go. Come on. Put your game faces on. So then, It's like the end of April, beginning of May. I go out on a shoot and I'm at work. And so like I have my phone turned off. I get in the car, I'm driving home. My phone is blowing up. Like, I'm like, what the heck happened? My friend's like, oh my God, oh my God. She's like, we have turned the crock pot all the way up. We are full go. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, he reached out to me and asked what was going on and asked to contact you. And like, so you should have a message from him. And I was like, what? So
the stubbornness to keep this term crockpot around this whole time is making me laugh.
Oh,
but
we literally have our like little group chat is called Crockpot Queens because and so yeah, so low and slow baby. And
that's
then
that's a good sorry, but that's a good podcast name. I don't know what you would do. I mean, there's a lot of things you do. Obviously, it applies to dating now, but
yeah. So we had a lot of fun with that. And so then this guy and we start like talking and good conversation. And then like, we just keep talking. And like my friends don't know a lot about him. They know a little bit. So I'm like, whatever, like feel safe.
So they still don't know.
No. I think the best part is we start talking. I realize this man is 10 years younger than me.
That's pretty substantial.
Yeah, he said something 23 and I was like, what? I go, what, huh? What? Come again? Huh? What do you mean? Huh?
See, you would think your friends would get that amount of information at the very least.
Like, my friends stalked him on Facebook and they're like, oh, it says he's like 25, but I think he like must have put it in wrong because I don't think there's no way he's that young. I was like, yeah, he's even younger, you goobers.
So they're instead of like they're like, he's probably older. He just fucked up his own age. And
yes, yeah. And I was like, oh, but my like dumb brain is like, yeah, that makes total sense. Sure, let's roll with that. So then he's like, and then we were talking because it was around my birthday. I was like, oh, I have to go update my license. And he goes, hold on a second. If you get your license done every 4 years, blah, blah. He goes, you're 33, aren't you? And I was like, yes, I am. And I'm like, why? And I'm like, because he said something about, because I said something like, made a comment about like, oh, I can't, drinking in your 20s. Something. He's like, yeah, well, I'm new to it. And I was like, what? What do you mean you're new to it? Like, and he goes, well, yeah. I go, when's your birthday? And he's like, do you really want to get into this? Like, do you really want me to tell you? And I said, yeah. He goes, well, I was born in the 90s. And I was like, cool. What year? And he's like, 1999. And I was like,
oh man.
So we hung out for a little bit and then the age difference became glaringly obvious. And just like with what we were doing with life, but I did get him to fix my sink, so I will take that as a win. He installed a new faucet for me, and I was like, okay. Hell yeah.
All right.
So check that off the to-do list. The child is gone. And I told my friends, I go, look, if we're gonna do this again, I need you to gather the facts and then present me and not send me into this tailspin with a child.
Yeah. They did all their, well, I guess none of their due diligence.
None. They just were excited. And then I was like, okay. So
what did they say when they found out his age?
They were like, oh my God. And I'm like, I don't
yeah.
And I will say, I have at this point in my life now, I have been on both ends of like the age gap spectrum, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had older, I've had younger, and they both have their pros and cons. But as a girl, I think I will take older every single day. Mm-hmm. Just easier.
How young is obviously 10 years is too young, but how young, like how low will you go?
I think like now being like maybe 29.
Yeah.
Maybe like 30, unless you like really have your crap together and know what you're doing. Cool. but I find that most of the time they don't. But my family had a really great time making fun of me. And my youngest brother was like, he is younger than me. What is wrong with you? And I was like, and he was like, oh, are you going on your babysitting duty? Well, he was over hanging out, and my middle brother drove by, and he calls me, and he's like stalker calling me. I was like, I will call you later. And he's like, whose car is at your house? And I was like, none of your business. So my brother thought it was my ex-boyfriend coming, like sneaking over. Like, it's a different car. He goes, he could have gotten a decoy car. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Like, it's not. And then he goes, hey, whose beer's in your fridge? And I was like, why are you creeping in the house? Like, you are being so nosy. I was like, do not worry about it. And then, of course, I just told my family, and they just thought it was hilarious that I was hanging out with this child. So, consenting and of age. I should quit saying child.
You should, yes.
He was 23. He was a young man, a young boy.
A young man. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't had too many serious girlfriends, but they've always been around my age. So I can't, like, what do you like about dating older guys? Or what was the oldest guy or the biggest age gap between you and an older guy? Do you remember?
I was 23 and he was 40, either 40 or 41.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Oh my God. I think my dad's going to like crawl out of his skin if he hears this.
Oh, he didn't know about that?
I don't think so. I mean, my dad doesn't care too much, but he's just like rolls his eyes. He's like, what's great is like they plan shit. They paid for shit. They picked you up. Like, you didn't have to do anything but be there. And they were just happy to have you in their presence. And you're like, yeah, that's what's up. I like that. And they teach you things. Like, this one dude I went on a date with, he cooked me like a whole dinner, like a deer dinner. Like, he had shot, killed, processed this deer, cooked it for me on an open fire. And I was like, damn, like, that's hot. Like, I was like, that is just a man. And it was like one of the best dinners I've ever had. I was like, great. And then we watched some like Stephen King movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is fun. I can get used to this.
So what happened there?
He
didn't have a blue wiener.
And no, what happened there is I ended up meeting my ex.
Oh man. So you were having a good time with this man.
Yeah.
And then just happened to meet someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was fine. And I knew it wasn't going to work out because of like the age difference and like, you know, we were at very different points in our life, but like I had a lot of fun while like we were hanging out. So, you know, but older men, they just have their shit together. And there's something really nice about that. And the fact, like, they just take initiative, they plan things, they execute, they do it. And you're like, oh, this is amazing. I just have to be for the ride. Like, I don't have to be your mother. Like, I'm just happy to be here.
I would imagine at some point, like if there is like, so he will do that at the beginning, which I think a guy should do regardless of age. You should be able to do that kind of stuff. But after a while, some women would be like, all right, well, I kind of want to plan stuff too, you know?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But, you know, at the beginning,
But I mean, like, he walked me to my door. Like, I can't tell you the last time someone like walked me to he came to my door, picked me up, walked me to my door. I was like, this is very sweet.
You know what's crazy to me is like the way you talk about that, like, to me, it should be normal stuff.
Yes. Oh my God, like just the horror story. So it was really funny. Not funny. It's just kind of sad how there's like,
so the opposite of funny. Got it.
Yeah. Just about how this one girl, it was a TikTok, and how she was talking about how like her boyfriend or like ex-boyfriend, she's like, he brushed his teeth like once a week. Like, is this
normal? My God.
And I was like, and then so many women were commenting like, oh yeah, my dude like doesn't brush his teeth. Like, what is this? And I'm like, like, what? Like these like new aged men, like, just were raised with their mom doing it all. Like, I feel like their moms, like, you know, were the housewife, but they also held down a job. So they grew up watching their mom do everything. And then so they want a woman that like does everything. And that's so like the second you ask them to be like, hey, can you help out? They're like, well, my mom did it all. Why can't you do it all? And you're like, ugh.
When I was dating, like I would whatever pick somebody up, I would not honk the horn. I remember one time I was just going to pick up a friend and I had two other guys with me and somebody else honked the horn as I was getting out of the car and I walked up the door and her mom was like, "Did you honk the horn?" I said, "No, I didn't honk the horn. My idiot friends did." I said, "I'm coming up here to pick her up."
Yeah.
But anyway, like if I were going on a date, I would, the minute that person was in my car, I would be thinking about the walk to the door because everything went well. That's when I would hope I'd get a kiss,
Yeah.
So like I'm just terrified the whole time. I don't know what's happening during the date. So it's wild that someone can just be sitting in their car going, "All right, well, see you tomorrow."
Yeah. Well, nowadays, but like now it's like the like sad reality is like as a woman when you're dating, like I'm like I'll drive separate because I don't know if you're gonna murder me or not. And I need like a quick getaway because people are unhinged and crazy. And not to saying like that women can't be murderers too, but statistically it is more so the men that do that. So yeah, we drive ourselves or because it's like now you're taught like don't let these men know where you live because crazy things happen. So yeah.
That was funny that the dog just barked because I keep seeing pets walk by and I'm like, and I was like, wait, how many are there?
There's two and they're crazy, but fun.
I don't remember how long have you lived in your house now?
I have been, well, I'm currently not at my home. I house sit a lot, but I have been in my home 11 months. It'll be a year next at the end of August. So
being well, besides having young men fix your faucets for you, how has that been going? You're mostly single, I mean, but living alone.
It has been great. And I will say, like, my family has just been a huge help. So I'm very lucky to have such a great support system that way. Like, if I had like no family around me, I feel like be screwed or be spending a lot of money on like repairmen. But I have also worked out probably the trade deal of the century with my siblings. So my one brother does his laundry at my house. And in turn, he takes care of my lawn. So I have yet to mow my own lawn. Like my brother does it. He does my leaves. He does all that. My other brother helps me cut down trees and I pay him or I'll get him dinner.
Yeah.
Like my siblings are very food and money motivated. It is very easy to be like, hey, if you do this, I'll get you dinner. And they're like, okay, fine. So, but it's been great. And then my aunt's retired, so she's over there a lot. My mom and dad love to come over. I've been hosting a lot of like summer barbecues because I have a really great patio and now it's just easy. So like at 4th of July, we had family in town and everybody came over. So it's a lot of fun. But I also I kind of had to set a rule with people because everyone's like, oh, you bought a house here. You'll take all of our junk. And I'm like, no. I said, hey, I don't know what I need yet. I'll let you know if I need that because like my aunt, I love her. She just dropped off. She goes, here, I brought you a fire pit. I said, cool, I already have one. She goes, this one's taller. So now I have 2 fire pits. So absolutely no reason. So, but they are my aunt and uncle and parents and siblings have been super, super helpful. And I've had a lot of really great friends that have been helpful, but my family, like my core family has been great.
Yeah.
So, and then I also trick people into fixing my faucets for me.
You should have like that. I'm sure that's a sitcom thing. You're like, all right, I'm not going to date this guy, but how much can I get him to fix around my house before I let him go?
Yeah. And he did that. And I was like, you know what? This is great. I got a faucet out of it. I'm happy. So
he's like, did you learn that in high school?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, a couple years ago.
Well, he's like, oh, because I had problems with like my sewer line was backing up into my house. He's like, I'm a plumber and he's like the maintenance man. So he can do like a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, call me next time. I was like, well, actually I need my like sink fixed. So he like told me what to buy, went and bought it, and then he installed it. And I was like, this is great. Like, wish I could have had him check a few more things off my to-do list, but lesson learned.
Hey, never say never. You can always start that crock pot back up.
Yeah, exactly. Plug her back in. No, I wanted to, I think that crock pot has been pushed down the stairs and thrown into hell. So we're done with that one.
So when your friends fail at setting you up, does that deter them at all?
No, but it's like the slim pickings they have, like none of them, like everybody in my group is either married or like long-term relationship, and they hang out with like married people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you people need to start branching the hell out for me, or just point me in a direction. So it's been interesting, but no, they're always on the lookout. Like my one friend, she's like, hey, I just went and met and had like my finances adjusted. My adjuster was really cute. I'm like, girl, what? Like, you know absolutely nothing about him. He started a Roth IRA for you. Like, come on. Like, if you're gonna lean into it, I need some more info.
Yeah, what is I mean, because on dating apps, you can just, I mean, how they don't put a lot of info on there sometimes, right? Like, what is the base level of info you're looking for? I guess now would be probably
Yeah, and to not lie about, but it's so hard. People can catfish you with photos or their information, but luckily I have a couple girlfriends who should probably work for the FBI because I give them a fraction. This was actually quite terrifying, but also I was like, you're good, girl. Yeah. There's this guy I worked with. This was like when I worked at the station, and I like wanted to know more about him. He was like this elusive guy. He like worked nights and he shared a desk like next to me. He was always like really sweet with me. I was like, I know two things about him. I know his first name and I know that where he works. I give her that information in 20 minutes. She goes, oh, he's a registered voter. Here's the front view of his house. And I was like,
so he's the one that needs to drive separate to the
clearly. And I was like, girl, I just wanted to know his last name. Like you've given me everything. So, and I can't tell you like how many of my girlfriends are very skilled. We're like, they'll be like, oh yeah, so-and-so's parents bought this house 10 years ago for this much money. And I'm like, God, you guys like lean in deep. I just need to know. Like my one friend will pull up. She's like, oh, because I'm like, here, give me the deeds. And she's like, oh, he was divorced like 3 years ago. And I'm like, oh, funny. He left that out. Like, they leave. So like you can find some quick info out on these people. But yeah, I have a squad of girls that are very gifted in the finding out information department.
Why? I wonder why they think that you need to know when their parents sold the house or anything.
Like, girls are unhinged. Like I can admit, like we're kind of cuckoo at times, but they know that stuff. And yeah.
So, it's type O blood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that
CPR
one,
certified.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a good time.
I guess.
Yeah.
Oh. I've always told you when you come on here and I was like, I'm so glad I'm not dating.
Yeah, it's it's awful. But I have a proposition or plan or idea.
Yeah.
I want to present to you.
Sure.
If we can fine tune this, or you could just look at me and say, you're a goober. That's a silly idea. Along. But it is so treacherous out here and so terrible that I feel like I can give up the reins of my dating life to other people. And I think you could either manage a dating profile for me, or outsource to your listeners, watchers, and say, hey, set up a date. I'll go on these blind dates and we'll see what happens.
That's first of all, I feel like that's a lot of pressure. Although from hearing stories that you've told me before,
it cannot get much worse.
Yeah, the bar's pretty low.
Bar's in hell. So yeah.
That is fun. That's a good idea. The only problem, I can't have Tinder or anything like that on my phone because then I'd get in trouble.
Yeah, that is also true. Yeah, and Tinder is not the one. So I was thinking maybe an app, but like setting up dates, like looking at your repertoire of people and like me, I would hope would know the people. And I don't know, let's see what happens.
So I can definitely do that. And if anybody's listening and they have someone that they would set Chelsea up with, email the Nerdball podcast, and we'll see what we can do. That's I feel like it's one of those things. Like I am so I don't think the word's desperate. I don't think from all your conversations, I don't ever see you as someone who's desperate.
I'm just down. You do it for the plot, Lorenzo. You
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it for the plot.
Write a smut book out of it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is how I make my millions. This is yes.
But it's so just like you're just so whatever, let's do it. So
It
that's what
is
we'll do. That's what we'll do.
so goofy out here.
Yeah.
And people are so insane that you got to be different. And you got to try something new. Like now there's this new thing going around where people are wearing these, like, it's called pear, I think. And it's like this teal colored, like, silicone ring. And it's supposed to alert people that you're single.
Really?
And I feel like that just looks like a wedding ring.
Yeah.
And like people are like, I don't know. But yeah, so that's a new thing. And like bigger cities are starting to do like singles only, like sports leagues, so you can meet people. It's just hard. Like it's hard to meet people. We're in like the post-pandemic world where people like forgot how to act.
Yeah.
And like, so
have you ever that ring reminded me of stoplight parties? Have you ever been to a stoplight party?
I went to one in college.
Yeah.
And the people that would wear the yellow, I'm like, you are trouble. Like you are the problem.
Yeah. So obviously red is like I'm good. I'm with somebody. Green is like, hey, I'm single. What did yellows?
Like, I'm kind of with somebody, kind of not.
Yeah,
it's
nah.
complicated. Like go all the way to hell.
I feel like there should be no yellows at a stoplight party.
It's either good, green, or red.
Yeah.
Pick one.
They should just call it. Yeah, it should just be red light, green light. It shouldn't be a stoplight party. It should just.
Like, what are you slowing down for, huh?
Yeah. I don't like a.
Yeah.
You're right. The people who are, and I would imagine there's a lot of men that wear yellow.
Yeah, and they think like, and then like, yeah, people are crazy.
It'd be sweet if just set up a nerdball dating thing, and you both, how you're supposed to meet each other is you both wear a nerdball t-shirt, and then we film you guys.
Yes, I would do that. I would do that. And also like I'm talking like super hypothetical, super really far down the road. Like I'm not this crazy, but thinking ahead because hey, I'm a planner, as we talked before. Aren't you ordained?
I am. Man, if this went from the beginning to the end, woo,
yes, that would be, what a story.
Yeah.
What a story. So
also, what would be cool is, I don't know if it would be cool, actually. It'd be cool for me because I'm not involved. Yeah. If you did go on a date, gosh, have some eyelash or something. If you did go on a date, and good or bad, whatever happened, then you separately would come on the podcast and talk about it.
Oh, I would be very down for that.
I know you would be for 100%, but yeah. I don't know if the other person would. Like, I guess it would depend. Like, if it went well, I'm assuming they'd come on and talk about it. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it would just whatever that depend on that person's personality too, right?
I'd be very I mean, I would come and tell you every little detail about it. So
maybe that's how we get people too, is like, hey, we're setting you up on this blind date, but you also have to talk about the blind date after.
Yeah.
On a podcast.
Indifferent, however. Yeah. And like, all those weird little things, I will be talking about it. So yeah.
Maybe you get less dates that way.
Maybe. Or like, hey, just like be a decent human and like don't give me weird things to talk about.
Yeah. That is very true. Yes. I'm sure you've gone on dates where the only reason you haven't talked about them on here is because they're boring and they would make a good story. Like, it just didn't work, whatever. Yeah. Well, what happened? I don't know. Just, we didn't vibe. All right. Well, we can't make an hour podcast out of we didn't vibe. So
no, but luckily for me, I have dated some doozies and I keep the good times rolling, which it's actually very funny because in my Time Hop, which is like the memory app.
Yeah.
Came the screenshots from that FBI informant. And I was like, oh, what a time. What a time.
That was a good one too. Yeah. Well, before we go, I want to get a grandma update. We usually always talk about her. Also, before that, did you get to see Adam when he was in town a few weeks ago?
I did not.
Yeah, I gave him a lot of shit, but I mean, I was just kidding. But I saw
I got
his.
to see John. I got to see John and
Yeah.
Stephanie and B.
Let me tell you this story.
Yeah.
So I'm at working at Glass City Metro Park, and Tammy walks by, and I'm like, man, she looks familiar. And I rolled down my window. I was driving in a truck. I go, you look familiar. I have no idea where you're from, but you look very familiar. And we kind of went through it. And then we ended up I was like, I went to Perrysburg. She goes, oh, my son, Adam and John went to Perrysburg. I knew it. I was like, I was friends. My name is Lorenzo. I'm friends with Adam and I play football with John. She was like, oh yeah. So we talked or whatever. And her company had like a big party the next day at our park. So then I saw John there and everything. And I called Adam immediately. I go, and he's like, hello. I go, you piece of shit. You didn't even tell me you're in town.
Yeah. Did you end up getting to see him or no?
No, because he was in Pennsylvania that day to see Kurt.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh to see Kurt.
So did he have an excuse for you? What do you say?
He was running. I mean, he was doing. They went to they dropped the kids off, went to Lake Tahoe. They did a bunch of stuff, and he goes, actually, I can see you tonight if you want. I'm like, well, I'm going out of town, so I won't be able to see you.
So
but,
no, I cannot.
Yeah, I always tell them whenever people come out of town, like, hey, if you can see us, cool. If not, I'm not. You got a lot, especially when you're from Perrysburg, you got a lot of people to see. So yeah. So, but okay, well, I'm glad at least I wasn't the only one that didn't get to see him. So
yeah. But grandma is good because it was a little touch and go there for a minute. Grandma got pretty sick and was in the hospital for about a week. And it was like a very emotional roller coaster because like every hour it was like something different. It was like, have her sign an NDR. And I'm like, what? That seems pretty aggressive. And then it was like, oh, she's going to go home tomorrow. And I'm like, what? Like you just literally said she was knocking on death's door 3 hours ago and now you're going to send her home. But she's home. She is good. She's been doing her therapy. She's been walking. She's more active. She's got, some color back on her. She's got some more, she was kind of looking waifish. So she's got some more, meat on her. So she is looking good and she's as ornery as ever. And we love her. She is doing good. But she asks about you all the time. So
Yeah. I mean, I've said it before. She is one of my favorites. It was always fun one of my favorite things to do when I was working Tuesday through Saturdays, Mondays, just I would just show up at people's houses or call them, like, hey, I'm coming over. I got my, at the time it might just been Mateo, walking around doing whatever. But there's certain people, obviously, when they're older, they aren't doing as much stuff. Yeah. So I knew I could just knock on her door and she'd be home all the time.
Yeah. She loved that. Yeah, she loved that. And she had when John and Stephanie were in town, they stayed with her, and so she got to be with me every day, and like she just loves getting the people around her. So yeah, she was in good spirits the last couple weeks getting to see people. So
good, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on here. Hopefully we can work something out. I think we threw a lot of things out there, but I guess it starts with finding a guy for you first for the initial setup. So again, if you have anybody that you want to set up with Chelsea on a blind date, all she needs to know is this guy's age. So and I think that's pretty much it now that we learned that. But even then, who knows? You might get your toilet fixed next. So you never know. You never know what's gonna happen. So send any thoughts on that to the nerdballpodcast@gmail.com. Chelsea, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Anytime.